WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. A Town Square media station.
What man to beat? You could forget about it. Touchdown, Alabama.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show can also be seen live being played back on, not played back, but playing live on Facebook at Martin Houston Live, as well as on YouTube. Also, give us a follow, give us a like, and share at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter as well. We also, Wednesday morning means we have X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston on with us, so you can also check us out on his streaming platforms as well, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the major social media outlets. It's a Wednesday morning hump day edition of the Martin Houston Show. Glad to have you on with us. So I want to encourage you to get in on the conversation right off the bat on the Taco Casa. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to, like I said, it's been a long time, 5 years, but on the Alabama One hotline, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Alabama One hotline is open for business, so give us a call and get in on the conversation. Of course, you're always welcome to add your thoughts, your comments, and your responses. Or even if you want to drive the conversation, you can put a topic or ask a question in our chat functions as well. And remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Got a great show lined up for you. Got a lot of topics to get to. We'll just follow the flow of the conversation as we move throughout. But, of course, big news on the local sports front at the high school level. Also, we have news coming off of the Capstone players out, or maybe, or for sure. I'm not sure, but we'll talk about who's in, who's out there, and we started a little bit yesterday to complete the phrase. I'm gonna get Xavier and Joe's responses there as well, and of course have to talk some basketball, talk some hoops with the most recent national championship game. And make some comparisons to Alabama basketball. So once again, the Alabama One hotline is open for business. Alabama One, alabama1.org. Go check them out. Find out about all our great promotions and great services we have to offer. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Happy to be here. Get ready to get today going.
All right. Well, hey, let's Xavier, it's your you spent some time playing high school ball there. Joe, of course, is Nobody covers local high school sports as well as Tide 109. You guys do a great job there. So big news on the high school front as Northridge hires Ryan Lawley. I think spent the last 20 years at Gordo as assistant / head coach the last 9. One win short, I think, in that 9-year span of 100 wins, 99-18, something like that. Like to get you guys' thoughts on Northridge football. Does Lawley take them to the next level?
I definitely think that he can, with his track record coming from Gordo. And he walks into a very different situation from the previous head coaches. I played with Coach Mike Smith. My freshman year there was the 3rd year that the school existed, which kind of makes me feel old now. And Coach Smith had to build a program up from the ground, and he had some successful years, had some bad years, and by the time he was leaving, Northridge was in a complete rebuild mode when Coach Vick came over, and that's who Simeon played up under. And Coach Vick did some great things there, helping Northridge get back to the playoffs the last 2 years. And so Coach Lawley comes into a program that has tasted winning, along with having some very high-end recruits and Wilkin Formby and TJ Banks and some other guys. So I think his situation starts off a lot better than the 2 previous head coaches.
Yeah, I think Ryan Lawley's a great pick for Northridge after losing Mike Vickery. I think that they go out and get a coach from a winning program. Gordo has been super successful, and last night, Martin, when I talked to Mark Capps, the principal at Northridge, he did say 100. He said 118. I'm seeing 2 different reports for the record. A lot of 99s and 18s.
Yeah.
So there's a scrimmage here or there that people are counting for his 100th win. But I think for Northridge, it's great. I mean, you look at the way how you look at the division that they're in with Hillcrest and now with Central coming in with Bryan all in the city. They've got they lost something with Coach Vickery, but I think that they have overcome that loss with the selection of Ryan Lawley.
Yeah, and I think the key is who is he able to get to join him. In high school, it's so in certain areas it's so hard to get good coaches and qualified coaches. You can get bodies, but and I think that's what helped Coach Vick turn things around. He was working hard, but it's hard to compete against teams that have more offensive coaches than you have people working with you, offense, defense, special teams, et cetera. And, the school system did make that, that change. And Coach Lawley had asked me, I said, Coach Lawley, that's one of the biggest things that can help you is finding not just coaches that you can hire through the school system, but finding good community coaches who you can pay to come be a part of your program. And I mean, and this is not about me, Joe, but think about this. Coach Vick 3 years ago had a kid that was in college, one that was hoping to get into coaching, and one that I think it was his first year. And they were all like young. He replaced them with me, old, Copeland, old, and Rob Hall, not just old, but we all had played college ball or beyond. All had been coaching at some level somewhere for multiple years. And now all of a sudden, now you replace those 3 guys with that caliber coach. It makes a difference, and that happened because they changed it where you could actually pay community coaches. They didn't have to be certified to be a part of the program, and I think that's going to help Coach Lawley tremendously. What do you think may be his biggest challenge and his biggest opportunity for success?
Well, being in Florida for the last year, I don't know who all's returning for Northridge. You know, of course, I know the big name guys, some of those positions. But I know you're replacing a quarterback. I know you're replacing, a couple running backs and things and other guys. But if he can come in and build around the guys that I mentioned earlier, you have a 4-star left tackle, you have a 4-star cornerback who could potentially be a 5-star by the time he's a senior. If he's able to build around those guys and get those guys to buy in, I think it'll make it a lot easier through the transition. And of course, just coming in, coaching his style will be the biggest benefit, and not adjusting for anyone. Adjust for your players, but hold them to that standard that gave you success at Gordo.
You look at what Gordo's done over the last couple of years, getting to going deep in the playoffs, going all the way to the state championship game 2 years ago, and Gordo's style has kind of been traditional run of the football, play action pass, and they were really using Tanner Bailey to kind of accentuate that from a quarterback perspective. You look at Northridge, though. Also, they've ran the ball well the last couple of years. I think that he's going to be able to go right over to the Jaguars and continue the success that Northridge has established, running the football, being kind of a run-first physical football team. I think that Martin, you and Coach Copeland and Coach Vickery kind of got that old school mentality and implemented over there. And I think Ryan Lawley is the right man to continue and perpetuate that as the years go on.
I agree. I think it's a good hire for Northridge. I'm wishing them nothing but the best and much success. And I've had the opportunity to interact with Gordo, even though they were a competitor, and go over and speak and share and meet Coach Lawley and get to know him a little bit, as well as the players and all of that. So I'm looking forward to what he brings to the Jaguars. Just a couple other quick things. We got to give a shout out to women's softball and women's gymnastics. Perfect game on the diamond, and high score ever in postseason action. And you're talking about two programs at a high level, doing things at a high level. So kudos to them. Wishing them nothing but continued success as they move throughout the season. And the men's baseball team mentioned earlier this week also got their first SEC series win. So good things happen around the Capstone. I know we focus a lot on football, but a lot of good sports happening around the Capstone. We'll come back on the other side. I want to get you guys' thoughts on the on the Final Four championship game, what that means, a couple complete these phrases for the basketball, and then we'll talk spring ball as well. This is the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. I want to remind you that if you're looking for great dry cleaning, then you need to go check out Penny Profit Dry Cleaning. Go check them out, and you're going to find a great business at a great location down on 2730 Stillman Boulevard. Quality dry cleaning and laundry at a discount price. All dry cleaning at $389 a garment, and shirts at $225. And if you tell them you heard about this on the Martin Houston Show, then you can get those shirts laundered for $199. So that is a great deal because of the partnership we have. So go check them out. Shirts $225, $199 if you mention this ad, and dry cleaning always $389. Come back on the other side. We'll continue our conversation right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
We start our Wednesday morning with foggy conditions and a serious wreck. 2059 eastbound near exit 97 in Lakeview, blocking the left and center lanes. Major delays into Birmingham. If you see other conditions, just give me a call. Now's the time to head to Town Nissan. An amazing selection, Great finance rates and top dollar for your trade. Townsend Nissan, and I'm Captain Ray.
Tuscaloosa Gunsmith does gun repair, modifications, cleaning, Cerakoting, and laser engraving for guns, and they sell Black Rifle coffee. Tuscaloosa Gunsmith, just off 15th Street, behind the fire station.
The Alabama Securities Commission protects you from financial fraud. Anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. You're careful with your money. Fraudsters aren't. Before you invest, call our hotline at 1-800-222-1253 to verify the licensing of the person making an offer and the product. Don't lose your hard-earned money. Learn to protect yourself at asc.alabama.gov. Paid for by the Investor Protection Trust and brought to you by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 with cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus on getting the best deal. Our Silver Unlimited plan is just $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. And it runs on the largest, most dependable networks, now with nationwide 5G. With the iPhone 13 on Straight Talk, you can share whatever you want, wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Searching for fun ways to spend your tax return? Boats for cats. Oh, flotation devices for cats. Don't waste it all on something silly. Spend smarter with Straight Talk. Get our Silver Unlimited plan for $45 a month with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot data on the nation's largest, most dependable networks with nationwide 5G. If you're looking to get the most out of your refund, your search ends here. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor in Tuscaloosa with over 24 years experience. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mild and breezy today with thunderstorms arriving by mid to late afternoon. The storms could be severe. The main threat coming from strong winds and hail, the high 77. For tonight, clearing and colder, the low 47. Tomorrow, partially sunny, the high 65. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 68 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Good morning. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. We're kicking off the second quarter right here on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9. This is the Martin Houston Show, the Sound of Alabama Sports, your show, your team, and we want to thank Overflow Express Wash for being a part of the program. Go check them out. Both of their locations open for business, one on Skyland Boulevard and one over in Northport. Off of McFarland Boulevard as well. Two great locations to serve you, keeping your car clean inside and out. That's Overflow Express Wash. Great environment. Andy Phillips and his team do a great job. So go check them out and join the fam and get that unlimited wash by joining the club. That's Overflow Express Wash. You can join the club for as little as $23.99. All right, let's get things going again, guys. Thoughts on the final 4/national championship game. Great weekend, great basketball. Just give me a quick rundown on what you thought.
I feel like North Carolina was cheated at the end of the day. To see one of your best players go down because of a loose board on the floor in the national championship game is very disheartening. But kudos to Kansas for getting the win regardless. Just hate that it kind of happened the way that it did.
Joe?
Oh, well, I mean, I enjoyed the weekend, and I would absolutely give a lot of credit to Kansas for fighting back in that second half.
Yeah.
Xavier, I got to push back on you just a little bit. I think that's a little bit of the way the floors are designed at that level in an arena set to have a little give as well. But yeah, it's great for Kansas. It's sad for Baycott. It's good. It's good for Herbert Davis. I think at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the way that it went, I think it went pretty well. Having Coach K go out to your rival, I thought it was nice and dramatic. So it was a fun weekend of basketball. Put a nice little bow on it, and then kind of move forward.
Yeah, I agree.
It's crazy. I'm sorry. It's crazy that Coach K finished his career 50-50 against North Carolina.
Yeah, and they gave him his first career loss and his last career loss. So think about that for a second. What's the chances of that?
Oh wow!
Yeah, pretty neat story. Great high level basketball out of the Final Four games. And when you think about the fact that they lost because you give up a 15-point lead, I'm sorry that the kid hurt his ankle, and it was an ankle that was already giving way for a different reason. The best team won, in my opinion, though. I think that if you were to have those two teams play 10 times, I think Kansas would win probably 7 of the 10. I think when Kansas played Kansas ball, and they did it every second half from the Sweet 16 on. The Elite 8 on, their second halves were unbelievable. Shot almost 60% in all 3 second halves and held the opponents to like in the 30s. And I think they held Carolina under 30, North Carolina under 30. So kind of crazy. But I want to make now I know we got a caller, but I want you guys to be thinking about this while we're bringing the caller on. As I watched that, it made me think there's a bigger gap between where Alabama is and where we want to go and want to see them go. Watching this past weekend made me go, we're not quite there yet. And I'll come back to that and get your thoughts on that in just a second. But let's go to Alan. Alan, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Alan, I've been on the West Coast, and I see we still got the offense coordinator. You're not applying yourself now. What's going on here?
I think we're gonna stick with him, man. We're gonna see if Alan, if for the first time I can think of in a long time, we have a returning quarterback, starting quarterback, and a returning OC. I think this is the first time in a while we've had this, so we're gonna see if we can maximize it and figure it out.
Give you that, Dan. I'll give you that. What are we gonna do about the running backs? Are we set at running back and wide out? What are we gonna do? The offensive line is set, evidently. Defense is set. I'm worried about the running backs and wide out.
I'll let those guys come in on it, and then I'll come in on it. What are you guys? From a running back, wide receiver standpoint versus O-line, I'm hearing a little different, but go ahead, guys.
I think when you look at the running back position, it is Jahmyr Gibbs' show. As far as featured back, I think it depends on how the rest of the guys heal up and things. Like from what I've seen, Trey Sanders has looked great through camp so far, and he looks healthier. The clips I've seen of him running, he looks a lot smoother than he did last year. And then of course you got Jace and Roydell coming back along with the freshmen that Jamari Miller is here and Emmanuel Henderson is coming in. And then you look at the wide receiver position. I think Burton's locking down one side. Depending on how Ja'Cory Brooks returns from his injury, I think you're most likely to see him or Trayshawn Holden starting at that other outside spot. And then the slot looks like it's a dog fight between Leary, Earl and the true freshman Aaron Anderson, and we're also not even thinking about guys like Isaiah Bond, who hasn't even showed up on campus yet. So I think it's going to be a fun dogfight for that slot position, and I think it's down to Holden and Brooks when he returns from injury. It's that other outside spot.
Yeah, Xavier, and one other guy you didn't mention for the slot is Kendrick Law. I'm hearing a lot of early enrollee as well.
Yeah.
Alan, I'm going to push back on you just a little bit. I think our wide receivers and running backs are more set at the moment than our offensive line. I think the offensive line is a kind of a work in progress. What do you think, Martin?
I agree with you, Joe. That's what I was going to say, Alan. The running back position, and I'm going to push back a little bit on everybody that's given the job to Gibbs. I think that Trey Sanders, the only thing Trey Sanders is missing is the mental block that he can do it. And I'm not sure he's not getting over that mental block. Trey Sanders is going to push to be the starter. I think that Gibbs is getting a lot of love and he deserves it. But that's also about Saban understanding how to make sure that the transition for him to go into a portal and get someone is easier. He wants to make those guys superstars and feel like, hey, you come in, if you're better, you're going to get to play. But don't be surprised if Trey Sanders doesn't push to be the man if he's gotten over that mental block. Offensive line is still the big question mark. One of the latest things I heard is that Latham may end up being at that right tackle position, and you wonder if that's leaking so that Tyler Sheen from Vanderbilt commits. So we'll watch that. That's still my biggest question mark, probably, is offensive line. Wide receiver, I don't think our ceiling is as high, Allen, meaning that we don't have a Jamison Williams. But I would say if you're looking on a scale of 0 to 10, last year we had an 11. Now we have an 8.5 to a 9 at the top. But I say our floor was maybe a 4 or a 5. I say our floor is maybe a 7 or 8. So there's just a lot of good guys packed into a really tight window. So from top to bottom, I think this this wide receiver group is deep, athletic, and talented. And I think it'll turn out even better because the quarterback is more experienced, Allen, and he's going to be able to hit tighter windows. He's going to be able to, maneuver this offense even better than last year.
One last question. If the season was to start today, would you think Bama would be the team to beat?
I do. I think that this defense is going to be better than last year. And I think this offense can be better than last year's offense. So I think Alabama, especially early on, defense is going to be the way to go, just like it was last year. But I think they're going to be better and more experienced. So, yeah, I think Alabama best team in college football again coming out of the all season.
Okay, I think that. Thank y'all.
All right.
Y'all have a good day.
All right. Keep it safe out there on the road, Alan. Thank you, sir. All right. Hey, guys, a couple quick questions, and then we'll get back to that hoops, and then we'll come back on the other side, talk a little football. And we don't have to get all the football stuff in today because we'll be back together tomorrow. But for Alabama hoops, complete this. For Alabama hoops to compete at the Final Four level, they have to do what?
To buy in, be able to adjust throughout the course of the season.
Okay, Joe.
I think that Xavier's right there. The buy-in is the main thing.
Yeah, and I would say this, guys. Physically, like I said, I don't know if when you look at the physical build of those two teams that played in that championship game, those players look different. You know what I mean? Like I remember when Notre Dame made it to the national championship against Alabama, all the reporters were saying it looked like grown men playing against high school kids. And I just feel like even when we have been successful, we still don't look the part Like we don't have those same dogs, and maybe that's what we're going to get with this new team. But the other part is, I think we're going to have our coaching. Nate Oates is going to have to coach at a higher level. It was some high level coaching done those last 2 games, those last 3 games, and when you look at North Carolina and Duke, watching those guys battle it out from the bench was amazing. Watching Herbert, Davis do what he did in the first half, but then Coach Self make adjustments and going from zone to man and just having different ways to get there. We've beat some great teams, guys, but we've beat them with the same plan. In other words, I hadn't seen us win a game where we made adjustments. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if that way wins, then we're gonna win. But I haven't seen us make adjustments. And if I watched this tournament probably different than I have any, it seemed like coaches made you had to be a 2 or 3 different types of styles at some point to get to that Final Four and to that the final 2, of course. So that would be my biggest concern. And last but not least, 2022, 2023 hoops, Bama hoops have to do what to keep the Oats momentum going?
What I said, in my opinion, the team has to be able to buy in.
No. What they have to accomplish, not.
Oh, what do they have to accomplish? Okay.
Yeah.
They have to make a run. You definitely want to see this team get into the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. Make that type of push. Could they go deeper with the talent that Alabama has coming in and the potential transfer portal guys that they've been looking at? They definitely have the on paper to be able to do it, but it's about the buy-in and being able to make those adjustments.
Yeah, you got to get back to the tournament. That's got to be the every year standard, and that's 2 out of 3 years. It seems like he's working his way to that. That's got to be the every year standard, getting to the tournament. And I think with Martin, we really need to get back to what we were doing 2 years ago, competing for the SEC title in the regular season. Because you look at what the 4 teams that competed for the regular season title this year: Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Arkansas. They were the best 4 teams in the conference by far, and all four of those teams were successful over the course of the season, and outside of some bad you getting upset in March Madness tournament, I think all 4 of those programs were pretty happy with their seasons.
Absolutely. So Curtis Moore II said, but Nate Oates is stuck in his ways. Do you really think Nate is open to adjusting? Just a rhetorical question. Hey, listen. Is he as committed to his thing as the way Les Miles was committed to his thing? I mean, it's different sport, different thing, but will he add anything to his repertoire? And that's yet to be seen. And then Jed Cohen, that was from Curtis Moore, and Jed Cohen said, for basketball to reach the Final Four, we have to be physical, and that's what I'm talking about. I don't think we're there yet. And we have to establish a post game from the big men, and the coach has to adjust at halftime of games. So that was just some thoughts from them. We'll get back on the other side. Of course, we got one more segment here. We'll talk a little sports, a little spring ball on the other side, and then we'll wrap things up with Scotty Hollins down the stretch. You listen to the Martin Houston Show. Thanks to great folks over at South Mart Design. South Mart Design, the official outfitter of the Martin Houston Show. Go check them out at southmartdesign.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start our Wednesday morning with foggy conditions and a serious wreck. 2059 eastbound near exit 97 in Lakeview, blocking the left and center lanes. Major delays into Birmingham. If you see other conditions, just give me a call. Now's the time to head to Townsend Nissan. An amazing selection, great finance rates, and top dollar for your trade. Townsend Nissan, and I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
I can go from 0 to 60 way too fast.
Who knew electric vehicle owners were having so much fun?
20 or 30 years ago, I owned a gas sports car, and this car is much quicker.
It's a great, fun car to drive. When you put your foot on the accelerator, it just goes.
They're fun, they're fast, they're efficient. Visit driveelectricalabama.com to learn how you can start having fun driving an electric vehicle.
Sponsored by the Alabama Clean Fuels Coalition, the ABA, and this station.
If you're looking for a quality tractor for your home, business, farm, or hunting club, check out the MT2E and MTE series tractors from LS Tractors, available at Columbiana Tractor. LS tractors come with a 6-year warranty and are available in horsepower ranges from 22 up to 101 horsepower. Let the pros at Columbiana Tractor create the LS tractor package you need with recommended attachments including loader, backhoe, rotary cutter, and box blade. The grand opening of Columbiana Tractor's new location this Saturday on Highway 280 in Westover.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
You're back in to the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's Xavier Houston and co-hosting, and Joe Gaither, brand manager of Tide 109, producing. I keep hearing this. People keep saying it's the players. It was the players who wouldn't adjust. They didn't buy in. Isn't that the coach's responsibility? See, I mean, they had their own attitude. They were individuals. Well, does that concern you guys? Because C.J. Watson saying, I don't know the Oats won't adjust. I tend to think it's more player-oriented. I don't think these players were willing to adjust. Last year's team was able to adjust. You don't win the league in tournament without being able to adjust. When we played this year, it was 5 guys playing well individually. There was never togetherness like you saw in the Final Four. Agree with all that. I think the huge roster turnover this season will paint the picture of whether Coach Oates is willing to adjust or not. So I look at that and I ask the question, guys. We keep saying it's the players, but these are the guys that Nate Oates recruited for the most part. The guys who did his system well weren't his guys that he recruited. So does that give you pause and concern? That's something to just think about. Is to me, Herb Jones, he has to find a Herb Jones, because his system requires hard-nosed, blue-collar players. And 5 stars a lot of times are not that. So yeah. You know, Herb was special, and he caused everybody else to feel that way. We got a couple calls we have to get to real quick, guys, and we'll respond to this either time permitting, or we'll get to it on on tomorrow. But let's welcome in Tom. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Joe, how are y'all?
Good.
Good. For the basketball team, it's not the only thing, but one of the things that weakened this team from game to game was turnover. You look up, and a lot of times you have high teams, 20, 21, 22 turnover. Well, I think I could go back and take the film and prove to the team that if we just cut the turnovers by 15 to 20%, we'll pick up 4 more games. 4 more games would be 23 wins. And a better looking record, that's for sure. But here's what I think it is. It's IQ basketball. Now, not that the players are faltering at an IQ level. It's the system that has made them look like they are low IQ basketball players, not low IQ individuals. Don't get me wrong.
I understand what you're saying.
And don't say that I'm calling them dumb. I'm not. The system has dumbed down our basketball team in this regard right here. Let's play fast. We got to play fast. Let's play fast. Play fast. Play fast. Play fast. 47 turnovers. Playing fast and being rushed are 2 different things. When we rush, we make bad decisions. Bad decisions make you look like you're low IQ. Low IQ converts to loss in basketball. I'll point out one example. We come out in one of our games on the break. Shackelford, who has no business handling the ball, but he's got the ball. He's coming down the left side. He tries to throw a skip pass from the half-court line all the way across the court to somebody that's cutting to the basket. There's 2 people between that guy and the basket. But because he's in such a hurry, he doesn't see the defenders, and he throws it anyway and turns the ball over.
Yeah.
And over again, we see plays like that happen, and it's because the system is rushing the players.
Yeah,
they're not playing fast; they're playing rush.
Yeah, and Tom, I'll give you this, and I agree with a majority of that. But think about this really quick, and I have to let you go. But Tom, if I told Nick Saban that he only had to play outside the hashes in a football game, what would happen, right? If he didn't have to guard the middle of the field, well, in our basketball game, we shoot a 3 or we drive to get a layup, and if the layup's not there, we kick it back out to the 3. You only have to guard at the rim and at the 3. You don't have to guard the middle of the field. Teams have figured that out. That's why we have so many turnovers as well. Is you don't have to play as much. There has to be more variation for those moments when that's not working. Everybody got on the phones while we were talking. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you, sir. All right. Hey, let's bring in, we got new caller from Gunnersville. Let's bring in Roland from Gunnersville. You in with the Martin Hughes Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin. Good to talk to you.
Same here, man.
With Tom, I agree with Tom, 100%. And I agree with you. When you look at our team physically, they don't match up with some of these teams you look at as far as just body-wise and all that.
Right.
Is our system directed toward that top player, or are we just not getting the right training as far as building our arms up and our legs and all that? But our guys look totally different than Kansas, North Carolina, these people like that.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. I mean, I know he had a new strength, and he has a strength and conditioning coach he brought with him, a guy who's supposed to be really good, but I've not seen the physicality. What I'm waiting to see is, let's see how Bediako changes from one year to the next, and that'll tell me whether or not our program is working to build him up.
I think Coach Oates is the man for the job. I think he's a good coach, but I do think he has to do a little better job making adjustments, because you'll see a team go on a run, and they'll rip off 14 straight points, and we're still sitting over waiting to call a timeout and to me, you call timeout to make adjustment, and you call timeout to stop the momentum from the other team.
Correct. Absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, no doubt.
And on turnovers, I think that's one of the biggest bugaboos, if you want to call it that. I mean, you have 20 turnovers. That's 20 times that you don't even get a shot at the ball to make a point, and 20 times that the other team is going to score a few points. So, like, I know one game we had 21 turnovers, and they had like 24, 25 points off our turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cut it down 50%, it's a different ball game.
Yep.
I'm like, we win 4, 5, 6 more ball games if we just turn, do our turnovers down 20% or less,
Yeah.
But, the turnover is what kills me. You throw a ball down court and the guy's not even turned around and hits him in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You try to swing the ball. You try to swing the ball all the way across the court and, and try to bounce the ball inside one of the guys inside, and there's three of the other teams that in between them.
Yeah.
Just drive me crazy.
Yeah, and I agree. Hey, I got to get one more caller in before we get to a break. But thanks for that insight. I agree with you, Roland. We got some challenges, I think, and I think we all are saying Nate Oates is the guy. We just want to see some improvement. Thank you, sir. Curtis Lewis, welcome into the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Mark, I just going to call and say that you guys, as far as basketball goes, let's go ahead and turn that page. This poor guy run that 10-3 on track.
It's 6'5", 225. Nicholas Harbor, I think is his name. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Oh my goodness! And y'all still want to talk about? Hey, we saw so and so run a 4.6 back 6 years ago. What the heck are you discussing?
Are you back on Slate Bolden? Curtis, let that man go.
Your son talking about, so-and-so ran a 4.6 when he was back coming out of college 15 years ago.
Hey.
Man,
Time out. Hey, hold on. Hey, Xavier and Curtis, y'all gonna have to carry it to tomorrow. I got to get to Scotty.
You ain't gotta hate him. I'm gonna call you. I say Xavier has lost his mind.
Hey, Xavier and Curtis. Hey, Xavier and Curtis. I have to get the break. Y'all gonna have to pick that up. Curtis, call back tomorrow. Thanks, guys. All right. Hey, let's get the break so we can get to Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries.
Tuscaloosa Gunsmith does gun repair, modifications, cleaning, Cerakoting, and laser engraving for guns, and they sell Black Rifle Coffee. Tuscaloosa Gunsmith, just off 15th Street behind the fire station.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
Ask big. Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
And he's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it.
More importantly, when she sees it.
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and local routes.
Colorectal cancer doesn't stop for COVID-19. Hello, I'm Dr. Cecilia Brewington. If you are age 45 or older, it's time to return to care and get tested. The government requires insurance companies to cover not only colonoscopy, but a range of tests, including virtual colonoscopy and other less invasive exams. Talk to your doctor about your options today. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. We got Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries, joining us this morning once again for our weekly catch up with the Christian Moment of the Week. Xavier and Curtis Lewis, those on chat saying, hey, guys, continue that conversation on tomorrow. We'll both be back here on tomorrow to get that going. So stay tuned for more, right? Absolutely. So
Curtis called first thing.
All right. Hey, but at this time, it's time for us to catch up with Scotty Hollins. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Martin, good morning to you. I'm doing fantastic.
Good. Hey, well, last week we kind of started talking about Shape, a book that you had used to work with BJ Stabler and several other guys and individuals that you've mentored, and he just ranted about it. So I had to give a shout out on the show when he told me about it, and of course. You wanted to look at that a little bit. So I'll toss it to you to encourage us how we can incorporate our faith into the boardroom and classroom, our chosen field of play as we move throughout life.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks again, Martin. And just to recap and just kind of look at that, Shape is just, I guess, an assessment to just kind of identify some things that are already present in your life. And saying if these things are present in your life, they're not here by accident. They're here by design. This is part of your shape. And so looking at the acrostic shape, I'll revisit it here in a second. It's just kind of helping young men to see some of the things that God has placed in them and to say, all right, could these things be a clue to what he wants you to do or to how he wants to use you or to how he wants to use you to influence those around you? Could it be in BJ's situation, in his life, it was, hey, could this be these 5 things, the answers to these 5 questions? Could these clues that are already present in your life, could they be pointing you to maybe a career choice, maybe a vocational choice? So I'll revisit those 5 things in case you weren't listening, if someone wasn't listening last week. And so, again, it's an acrostic that spells out shape. The S, each one of these specific areas is something that, again, already exists in your life. It's just taking the time to uncover it, to kind of dust off say, okay, what's here? And then say, okay, now why is it here? And what does it mean? And how does God want to use it? The S is for spiritual gifts. And so as believers, every believer has a spiritual gift. And so when you look at the list of spiritual gifts, leadership, mercy is like, just having extreme care for those in need, serving, hospitality. You just look at this long list in the Bible of spiritual gifts. Then here's the way you figure out which one is yours. Which one do you do with the least amount of effort and the maximum amount of joy? Okay, so for me, hospitality is one of mine. I love having people into my house. My wife does as well. We both have that gift. Love hosting and serving and kind of having people into our house and doing all the things like cooking and prepare, just all that, making sure that people enjoy themselves, especially when it's, great fellowship. But again, least amount of effort, that might be difficult for someone. But for me, I just love it, but also enjoy it. And it's on that list of spiritual gifts. Now, for others, they say, here's my spiritual gift. And I'll be like, man, that's so hard. And they'll be like, no, this is easy. Well, that's your spiritual gift. So least amount of effort, maximum amount of joy. The H in the acrostic stands for heart. And believe it or not, you actually get a say. A lot of times people think when it comes to vocational choice, or what God wants me to do, I got to do something that I don't want to do. And it's going to be so horrible. And it's going to be, oh, gosh, you got to go do something, Well, the H stands for heart, and it's actually, what do you want to do? Like, if money wasn't an issue and you could do anything you want to do, what would you do? If you were, let's say, a billionaire and you didn't want to just waste your time away, like you didn't want to just wake up every day and play golf, or, well, I guess some people might be okay with that, right? But the question is, like, what would you do? In heart, what would you want to do? So I think just kind of uncovering those things. What are the things that really get your heart beating? What are the things that you really get excited about? The A is for abilities, natural abilities. Just kind of, if you sing, if you work well with your hands, if you what are those things? If you're great, again, just what are those natural abilities that you have? Athletic. The P is for personality, how God wired you, and the E is for experiences. What are the experiences that you have up to this point? Again, I just wanted to put that back out there as we walk through that. Again, as BJ shared with you, Martin, that helped him to kind of hone in on what he wanted to do. He ended up saying he wanted to do player development in the NFL. He worked his way. Within 2 years, he had landed a position to be with the Kansas City Chiefs as a player development guy, and he was there for 8 years until we got him back to lead the A club here. So
yeah, and he's still, and it's not player development, but he's still totally 100% tied in with helping us former guys help the younger guys develop. So and so he's still player development to me is about investing and growing young men or people from where they are at point A to point B, and that's still what he's doing, just with a different title and a little different focus. So pretty neat. We'll continue to dig into that. Scotty, tell our listeners where they can find you, sir.
Absolutely. www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. You can send me a message there. It comes straight to my email.
All right. Hey, that's Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries. Give him a like, give him a follow, share, connect with him. Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries. Thanks, Scotty. Catch you next week, man.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, X, tell us what you got going. I mean, where they can find you, sir. You still there, X? All right. Hey, thanks everybody for a great show. For those who are anticipating the Curtis and Xavier conversation, come back on tomorrow. We'll continue it right here on the Martin Houston Show. I'm Martin Houston. That's X's and O's, Xavier Houston. Find him on all of your social media podcasting platforms. Give him a like, give him a follow. X's and O's Sports. And thanks, Joe, for pressing all the right buttons and keeping us on the right track for the Martin Houston Show. Remember this, trust in the Lord, always lean, not your own understanding, all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, everybody. Have a great one, X. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
Have a good one, Joe. Thanks, man.
Tide 100.9.